Hi. So I know how hard it is to lose weight and to keep it off and to build muscle and try to maintain it. But the hardest part of all of this is knowing where to start. So I wanted to kick off this channel and 2024 by giving you my top 5 tips that helped me lose over 50 pounds and keep it off over the last 4 years. Tip 1: why do you want to gain or lose weight in the first place? What exactly is your goal? And why is that your goal? You've probably heard the stat that 80% of people who manage to lose weight usually gain all that weight back within 12 months. Why? There are plenty of studies, both covering the physiological and psychological reasons for this, but I'm going to focus on the psychological. Part of the reason many people don't maintain their weight loss is due to people not having meaningful long-term goals and plans to go along with them. For example, if you want to lose weight just to look hot for summer in 6 months' time, you'll probably gain all that weight back eventually. Now, if you reworded that to something like, I want to feel comfortable in anything I wear and be able to keep up with my nieces and nephews at the park every weekend, then you've got yourself a far more inspiring goal that will push you further, and it feels harder to let go of that goal since it's so much more meaningful to you. It's further supported by Kevin D. Hall and Scott Kahan in the article Maintenance of Lost Weight and Long-Term Management of Obesity. They say in the paper, long-term weight management is improved when motivations are aligned with personal values and preferences, helping patients shift their locus of motivation from weight loss alone to intrinsically meaningful areas, such as health improvement, can improve long-term weight and behavioral outcomes. For me, that light bulb why moment was back in October 2015. I was heading home from work and I was feeling a little gross and heavy. So I thought, when I get home, I'm going to weigh myself, and if I hate the number in the scale, I'm going to go for a run. And I don't run, so that's kind of a big deal. And I weighed myself, and the scale said 97 kilos or 214 pounds. For context, I'm only 5'4" or 163 centimeters, which is a shit ton for a 22-year-old woman to weigh at that time. So yeah, I went on the most miserable run ever after I weighed myself. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I had that light bulb moment that convinced me that this must stop. I cannot get any heavier than this and possibly get a heart attack and die young. Which brings me to tip 2, and the biggest one on this list, so hold on to your pantalones, which is understanding exactly what you are eating and drinking are key. So to cover the diet basics, food basically supplies us with energy and nutrients we need to live. These can be broken up into calories, macronutrients, so proteins, carbs, and fats, and micronutrients, so vitamins and minerals. The latter two help keep our bodily functions healthy, whilst the first one, calories, is a measure of energy and what keeps us going. If we go without food for too long, we can die because we obviously need energy to live. So going off that logic, that means we need to consume a certain amount of calories to sustain our current bodies. For example, for me, I need about 1,800 calories to maintain my current weight of 72.3 kilos or 159 pounds. If I consume less than that, let's say 1,500 calories, then I would lose weight regardless of whether I exercise or not. And if I consume more than 1,800 calories, then I will gain weight. And you would have heard this summarized as calories in versus calories out, or CAICO, which means the calories in your mouth versus the calories that you expend or burn off through movement and random bodily functions throughout the day. If you want to find the right amount of calories that you need to eat to gain or lose or maintain your weight, download a calorie counting app or use a calculator online. There are heaps of options. Just Google it and input your height and your age, and it'll spit out roughly the amount of calories you need to consume or not consume. Also, this simple Kaiko math obviously ignores any hormonal or health anomalies, so keep that in mind and consult a professional to work with you one-on-one if that's what you need. This is just general advice. Now, if you're anything like me, the first few weeks of logging calories and keeping a food journal were absolutely mind-blowing. It totally changed the way I approach food. I went from trying to eat quote-unquote healthy foods to looking at foods as a whole and what they really offered me, not just believing what the labels told me. So salads were one of the biggest surprises to me. They have such a good reputation for being super healthy, and they can be, but you have to be wary of this. Yes, they can provide a lot of vitamins and minerals, which we need to live healthily, but you still need to keep calories in mind if you want to gain or lose weight. So I love going to Original Joe's, and their grilled chicken Caesar salad is a healthy option, but just because it's a salad doesn't mean it's like 50 calories and you can eat whatever you want for dessert. At OJ's, their salad is 590 calories, which is quite good for a main, but it could surprise you to know that their cinnamon bun cheesecake has just 20 calories more than this, at 610 calories. Now, it could also surprise you even more that two Macca's cheeseburgers have less calories than this salad. Both together, 580 calories. Now, am I advocating for you to ignore the vitamins and minerals in the salad and how filling it is and opt for the slice of cheesecake or the Macca's? Obviously not. The cake and burgers will leave you hungry within the next hour and you'll probably feel gross afterwards. But the salad will fill you up and you'll get a lot more nutritional value out of it also, like all the protein and healthy fats. So keep this in mind. Yes, being in a calorie deficit is important for weight loss and a calorie surplus is important for weight gain, but calories aren't everything. You need vitamins and minerals to be an overall healthy person as well. Also want to note here that I'm a big fan of balance rather than restriction. So if you want to eat that slice of cheesecake, get the salad and share the cheesecake with someone. Because I know our willpower can only sustain our diets and lifestyle changes for so long until we eventually break and start binging on everything, or worse yet, we give up entirely. So be reasonable with yourself, be reasonable with what you eat, and don't cut out things completely. Have those unhealthier treats less regularly and prioritize at least 80% of your diet on filling nutritionally dense foods like fruits, vegetables, meats, and whole grains. So whatever works for you, whether it's using MyFitnessPal or keeping a physical food journal, track what you eat and how much of it you eat. You could surprise yourself. No snack or little cube of cheese is too small. Log it all. I know people who have lost weight just by cutting out the bits of cheese that they pick at in the fridge at midnight. I also recommend getting a food scale if you're really bad at guesstimating how much you're eating at home. I know tip 2 is probably a lot to take in, so TLDR, calorie deficit equals weight loss, calorie surplus equals weight gain, and calories aren't everything. Try to focus on filling nutritionally dense foods so you're not just eating Macca's and staying under your calories, but you're miserable and you feel gross. I hope this initial summary of calories and nutrients is helpful and points you in the right direction on how to at least get started. So I started to count my calories and go for runs every second day or so, and I started to lose a bit of weight, but I was miserable. I hated running with a passion. So my brother and some of my mates, they suggested I go to the gym, and it made perfect sense. I wanted to lose a bit of weight, but I've always wanted to build a bunch of muscle and get huge like legs and arms. So I signed up to my local gym and fell in love with it, which is tip 3. Find a form of exercise you actually enjoy. I love the feeling of getting a pump and hitting new PRs and getting stronger. I started to really get into powerlifting as well a bit there. I bought a lever belt and chalk and the whole shebang, and I started to move some serious weight. And whilst I love going to the gym, I know it isn't for everyone. You need to find exercise that works for you. If you love the gym, amazing. But if you hate it, try other things. It doesn't need to be anything extravagant and expensive or crazy. And yes, you can theoretically lose weight 100% focusing on your diet, but to be a well-rounded, healthy person overall, you need to exercise too. So perhaps you love hiking or running or doing team sports or doing a Zumba class, spin class, dance class. Find something you actually enjoy. You would not stick to something you hate. Anyway, I loved lifting. I still love it. I started to build heaps of muscle, well, more than what I had before. And I started to fit into smaller clothes. The scale wasn't going down super fast, but it was steady, which brings me to tip 4. The scale isn't everything. I know I wasn't losing weight really fast, but it was at a sustainable pace and I was gaining muscle as well. And keep in mind, muscle weighs more than fat, it's a lot denser. So I wasn't too disheartened, and nor should you. Slow and steady wins the race, and the numbers on a scale don't determine your worth. So don't give up because the numbers aren't dropping like crazy. Instead, focus on other things like how much stronger you are now, or how much further can you run now, how much higher can you jump, or measure yourself and watch the inches fall off or get bigger if you're trying to bulk up. Or look at your clothes sizes and how they may change, or how your clothing is a lot tighter or looser now. There are heaps of markers of success, so don't just focus on one, the scale. It will mislead you and it can make you want to give up early, and we can't have that, can we? And lastly, tip 5, and probably the easiest one here, take before progress photos and videos. For some reason, I felt too shy to take photos of myself right at the beginning or to record my first few lifting sessions. I don't even know why, since I didn't really intend to show them to anyone at the time. But I think I just hated the idea of seeing myself in that state, feeling so heavy and unhealthy. But now I regret it. I wish I had more photos and videos of myself back then, just so I could see the progress, because I honestly find it so inspiring to see how far I've come. And I want that same self-inspirational feeling for you. So take those photos, film yourself lifting or doing a dance class or whatever. Obviously being respectful of those around you, but do it. Please do it. I want you to be able to look back and feel proud of yourself and how far you've come. I want you to see all the muscle you've gained, all the fat you've lost, and feel amazing about yourself and your hard work. So those are my top 5 tips on how to get started on your own health and fitness journey. I want this channel to inspire more people to not be afraid of the gym or exercise and to not give up on their health goals so quickly. I want you to know that if an average sedentary schlub like me can go from this to this and maintain that for years, then you probably can too. I'll be posting all my realistic workout and food tips that have worked for me and have helped me to get to where I am today. And please feel free to comment on anything else you'd like to see on the channel. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe to see more, and I'll see you all in the next one. Happy lifting. It's kind of cringe, eh?